very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashing Sani Veera Singha. Let's have a look at the headlines first. Japanese government pledges over 1,000 million rupees financial aid for Sri Lanka to streamline the fight against COVID-19. World Health Organization commends Sri Lanka for the elimination of rubella ahead of the given target. News in detail. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka yesterday initiated the process of developing a blockchain-based Know Your Customer proof of concept by entering into agreements with 3 IT companies, including one international company. CBSL identified the potential benefit for Sri Lanka's financial services in 2018 and initiated an inter-industry study of blockchain technology with the voluntary participation of the banks as well as the IT industry. CBSL decided to pave the way for blockchain technology-based financial service solutions in Sri Lanka, developing a shared Know Your Customer solution. Thus, the CBSL advertised inviting companies with experience in developing blockchain technology-based solutions for shared KYC to join this project on a voluntary basis. Accordingly, the selected applicants are Sampath Bank together with the University of Colombo School of Computing as joint applicants, Norrblack AB from Sweden and Yala Labs Private Limited and Linear 6 Private Limited, both Sri Lankan companies, as joint applicants. Agreements were signed between the selected applicants and CBSL with the attendance of Governor of Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Professor W.D. Lakshman, amidst the attendance of senior bank officials. In his remarks, the governor stated that evaluating the feasibility of using a technology such as blockchain to securely share Know Your Customer information has the potential to vastly increase the digital financial inclusion of Sri Lankans. Japanese government pledged another grant aid of over 1,000 million rupees for Sri Lanka to combat against COVID-19 global pandemic. The MOU regarding the grant aid was signed this morning, and the officials said that the grant will be mainly used for the provision of necessary medical equipment. As per a request of the government of Sri Lanka, the government of Japan has agreed to provide approximately 1,360 million rupees grant aid under the Japanese non-project grant aid scheme for the provisioning of necessary medical equipment. Finance Ministry sources revealed that according to the understanding between the countries, the grant will be utilized to purchase medical equipment such as MRI scanners, CT scanners, bedside X-ray systems, central monitors, bedside monitors and defibrillators, etc. to strengthen the COVID-19 preventing activities in Sri Lanka. Ministry sources also added that though the country has achieved significant progress in preventing disease, the health system in Sri Lanka needs more facilities to maintain the usual day-to-day activities within the country which were prevalent in the country before the COVID-19 pandemic. Equipment procured under this grant such as MRI scanners, CT scanners, X-ray systems and central monitors, which will be immediately installed at the selected hospitals and treatment centers, will lead the efforts in combating COVID-19. The exchange of notes pertaining to the above grant was signed by Finance Ministry Secretary S.R. Artikala on behalf of the Government of Sri Lanka and Japanese Ambassador in Sri Lanka, Sugiyama Akira, at the Ministry of Finance, Economic and Policy Development this morning. Marking another milestone in the country's health sector, World Health Organization states that Sri Lanka has eliminated rubella ahead of 2023 target. Thus, Maldives and Sri Lanka were verified for having eliminated rubella, making them the first 2 countries in WHO's Southeast Asia region to achieve measles and rubella elimination ahead of 2023 target. Accordingly, the announcement of Maldives and Sri Lanka eliminating rubella ahead of the 2023 target was made after the 5th virtual meeting of the Southeast Asia Regional Verification Commission for Measles and Rubella Elimination. The commission comprises of 11 independent international experts in the fields of epidemiology, virology and public health. Member countries of WHO Southeast Asia region in September last year had set 2023 as target for elimination of measles and rubella, revising the goal of the flagship program that since 2014 had focused on measles elimination and rubella control. Thus, a country is verified as having eliminated measles and rubella when there is no evidence of endemic transmission of the measles and rubella viruses for over 3 years in the presence of a well-performing surveillance system. Sri Lanka reported last endemic case of measles in May 2016 and of rubella in March 2017. WHO Regional Director for Southeast Asia, Dr. Ketrapal Singh said that at a time when the entire world is grappling with the COVID-19 pandemic, this success is encouraging and demonstrates the importance of joint efforts of the health sector officials. Moreover, it has noted that the countries in WHO Southeast Asia region have been making concerted efforts to resume immunization and surveillance activities and plug gaps that have arisen due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. The warning words from the World Health Organization reveals that the COVID-19 outbreak is accelerating and the world has not yet reached the peak of the pandemic. Bringing forward many other pertinent health-related issues during the regular COVID-19 press briefing held yesterday, WHO Director General Dr. Ghebreyesus also stressed that over the last 2 years, numbers of new HIV infections have stabilized at 1.7 million annually.
The outbreak is accelerating, and we have clearly not reached the peak of the pandemic. Over the past few months, there has been a lot of discussion about the origins of COVID-19. All preparations have been finalized, and WHO experts will be traveling to China this weekend to prepare scientific plans with their Chinese counterparts for identifying the zoonotic sources of the disease. WHO is deeply concerned about the impact of COVID-19 on the global response to HIV. A new WHO survey showed access to HIV medicines has been significantly curtailed as a result of the pandemic. Over the last 2 years, numbers of new HIV infections stabilized at 1.7 million annually, and there was only a modest reduction in AIDS-related deaths. More than 25 million people now have access to ARVs, but global targets for prevention, testing, and treatment are off target. Progress is stalling because HIV prevention and testing services are not reaching the groups that need them most.
Colombo district candidate of Samagi Jana Balawegaya, Dr. Harsha De Silva stresses that government's debt has increased by nearly 1,000 billion rupees during the first 4 months of this year. SJB candidate Dr. De Silva made these revelations yesterday, citing the statistics of the weekly report of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka.
මහා බැංකුවේ අර සතියකට පරක් වෙන වාර්තාවේ සඳහන් වෙන කරුණක් මං හිතන්නේ තාම ජනතාව අතරට ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ. දැන් මොන් දිගින් දිගටම කෑකෝ ගැහුවා ගිය ආණ්ඩුව කාලේ ණය වැඩි වුණා කියලා. රුපියල් බිලියන 7000 ගානක ඉඳලා රුපියල් බිලියන 13031 වෙනකන් වැඩි වෙලා තිබුණා කියලා. ඒ අවුරුදු පහට ණය. කවුද දන්නේ දෙසැම්බර් මාසේ 31 වෙනිදාට තිබුණේ අපේ ණය ප්‍රමාණය සමස්ත ණය රුපියල් බිලියන 13051යි. අප්‍රේල් 30 වෙනිදා වෙනකොට මේක ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා රුපියල් බිලියන 14025යි. රුපියල් බිලියන 974කින් එහෙමත් නැත්නම් ආසන්න වශයෙන් රුපියල් බිලියන 1000කින් ණය වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා මාස 4කට. දැන් මේගොල්ලෝ කෑ ගැහුවානේ අවුරුදු 5කට රුපියල් බිලියන 5700කින් ණය වැඩි වුණා කියලා. අවුරුදු 5කට 5700කින් ණය වැඩි වුණාன்னு කිව්වා. හැබැයි මේගොල්ලෝගේ කාලේ මාස 4ට බිලියන 1000කින් වැඩි වෙලා. මාස 4ට 1000කින් වැඩි වෙනවා නම් අවුරුදු 5කට කීයකින් වැඩි වෙයිද? හැබැයි මේ මුළු කාලෙටම ආණ්ඩුවට ලැබිලා තියෙන ආදායම රුපියල් බිලියන 480යි.
A team of university lecturers who represent the national list of National People's Power had a media briefing in Colombo today and stated that their only expectation is a good lineup of people's representatives in parliament who categorically avoid the robbery, bribery and corruption as a principle.
If we look at the politicians contesting this election, One thing is clear. If you look at their history, if we had a Yahapalnya government, but they did not have any Yahapalnya. What they did was started off with a bond scam and then did not take any action against those who have robbed our country. Following that, we have now got this new present government which has made lots of promises. What are the promises? Good governance, but the good governance turns out to be military governance. What are the promises? That they were going to solve our economic problems. Our economy has crashed completely. They are unable to pay money, find money even to support the poor workers who have lost their jobs. They have been given 10,000 rupees for 4 months. This must be based on Bandula Gunawardana's calculation of 2,500 a month. That's all they have got. And no money, and they don't have money to pay salaries. That is the situation today. So what we see is there are lots of promises, but the promises that are helpful to the people are never delivered. What can be sure of? One thing can be sure of is that there will be corruption, there will be bribery, and there will be an environment which allows bribery and corruption to grow.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 12.26 points to close at 5,069.52 and the S&P SL 20 dropped 17.02 points to close at 2,195.68. The turnover was 1 billion rupees and over 72 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. And that's all the news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the same time. Until then, take care. Good night.